companies have the right and to some extent the obligation to protect themselves against litigation and theft, their employees against unsafe conditions, and their customers against unhealthy and faulty products. No one will argue with these goals, but some have criticized the methods of which companies have been trying to protect their rights, particularly the large-scale testing of job applicants and employees to ensure that they will not expose companies to reduce risk. The privacy issue getting the biggest headlines these days is employee use of substances such as drugs and alcohol, which may impair productivity and pose a safety hazard to others. Despite the legislation in some states that restricts drug testing, an increasing number of companies testing specimens from protective and sometimes current employees for the presence of mind-alerting substances. Use of such screening poses two important questions. Does an employer have any right to be concerned with an employee's behavior of the job? Or are the tests valid? That is, do they reveal information that is relevant to the problem? Although the tests are increasingly accurate, they still cannot distinguish between the alcohol from a cough syrup and the alcohol from a cocktail. Furthermore, tests may detect marijuana as long as 30 days after its use, and eating 3 poppy seed bagels can produce enough caffeine in the body to result in a positive test. In short, someone who is not under the influence of a substance may test positive for it, and that positive test may reflect only legitimate medicinal use. And finally, the Centers for Disease Control have found that some laboratories erroneously find drugs and alcohol present as much as 66% of the time. Even the testing firms recommend confirmation by more expensive tests, and they warn against the poor operating procedures and poor quality control at same labs. These issues are currently the most visible aspect of the controversy over employees' right to privacy versus employers' law. The following are other areas of concern. Do psychological tests demonstrate an employee's suitability for a job, or are they a gratuitous invasion of privacy? Next, has a company the right to check for gold breaking by monitoring a restroom or lounge? Next, is it appropriate for companies to use computer surveillance to keep track of employees' every action? Next, does a company have the right to listen in on phone calls to find out whether they relate to the job or being made for private purposes or for passing on company secrets? Does a company have the right to fire workers who smoke, even when the smoking is done only off the job? Next point, is it an invasion of privacy for a company to check applicants or employees' credit records? Next point, can a company perform genetic screening for the purpose of denying employment or of pinpointing future health problems that might increase the company's health costs? Next point, how far should a company go in determining whether an employee's dinner with a colleague from a competing firm is a date, a professional friendship, or individual spying? And final point, does a company have the right to fire employees because it disapproves of their sexual lifestyles, such as cohabiting? Now, it is difficult to fault companies for trying to make their products safer and their work sites more serious. However, few companies have adopted formal policies regarding employee privacy which leaves room for abuse. Furthermore, many of these issues have yet to be put to the test in court, and the laws that do exist vary considerably from state to state. At this point, therefore, only one thing is clear. finding a balance between employer and employee rights is likely to be one of the most debated issues in the coming years. Log on to my website www.asifjmeer.com. I also urge you to visit my blog at asifjmeer.wordpress.com. Have a wonderful day.